presents us new opportunities, I think.
Mm-hmm. Certainly. And one thing I want to hit on is for the rewards, those sales need to be recorded through the app or through the portal in some form or fashion. So I had a question earlier today. I see some familiar names, so you've probably already seen this. Let me share my other screen. But if that scout does not have a smartphone or have capability to get it in the app, they still have a way to share, get those rewards and into their account. And so just want to show everybody on here how to do that through your unit leader dashboard real quickly. So whenever you log in, you'll see the unit leader dashboard. If you scroll down, you will see the different scouts. So here is my test account. You see Jake Test. Over here, you will see a little shopping cart. So you can click that shopping cart and you can enter orders for that scout. So at the end of the year, you can take the take order form from those scouts who did not use the app. You can total up what they all had. So say they had 5 Unbelievable Butters, they had 3 white cheddars, 2 blazing, 1 salted, and say they had 5 cheese lovers boxes. It will total it all up over here. You can record that sale. Now that scout will receive credit for their sales and can receive those Amazon gift card rewards. But all scouts will need to have an account created and logged for them to receive that Amazon gift card. So with that, that is all I have for that. Any questions that anybody may have, but I think the Amazon gift cards will be an exciting new thing. It's always fun to see what scouts purchase with those gift cards.
Jake, do you want to touch on the transition on the scholarship program?
Yes, certainly. So the scholarship program will no longer be accepting new candidates. Unfortunately, it's been a long program that Trails In has had for the past over a decade now, but we just were not seeing the results of people getting in. Only about 1 in 3 people were actually submitting now that we had full scout data. And of those, only about half of them were ever reclaiming their scholarship funds. So a program getting that much really wasn't getting the attention it needed. We still think it's a great idea and encourage you guys to do it, but we can't continue to pay for some of the technology things and continue to support that program at the same time. So for the next 3 years, we are still grandfathering people who are in the account. So we will continue to contribute to their scholarship program. They can continue submitting their sales over the next 3 years to your council, and we will get those sales in there to update them. So with the rewards program and the scholarship going away, we have increased the rewards percentages this year, if you look compared to last year, and then we will contribute into their scholarship fund at 4% rate. And so any scout who has a scholarship that they've had in the past, they can still redeem it even after those 3 years. We'll continue that account until they graduate and ready to go, and they can continue for any further education. But for any additional information, you can go to our scholarship site, which I just put in the chat box, and that will give you a full detail of what they can use those funds for and the full shift in the program. But something, unfortunately, we cannot continue. We'd definitely love to, but we think the app, the rewards, and some of the other items, we'd rather reward scouts right then and there instead of having them to wait 10 years and a program that wasn't quite getting the attention we hoped for.
Okay. Any questions for Jake about the scholarship campaign or anything like that? I mean, of course, you can hit the link. That'll work as well. Please know that, you know, the Buffalo Trace Council really is a big fan of the scholarship program, and I'm one of the ones that kicked Jake a lot when I heard about the transitions. And the first news about it, it was done. And we kicked hard enough, along with many others, that they have transitioned it now for a 3-year period of time. So it's helpful. Still not what we wanted. We still are proud of our scouts that are active in the scholarship campaign. I strongly recommend that our popcorn kernels will try to get that information back into your hands as the scholarship recipients and making sure that we track those scouts. Because once those dollars are earned, it stays in an escrow account with Trails In their name. So oftentimes we've heard of some of our scouts that are left the program. The amount of communication from Trails End to that scout is minimal. We've had those challenges ourselves in reaching out to some of those scouts, but it's a valuable tool. It's a valuable prize. We don't want to lose face of that. So keep that in mind, okay? But it's real important that we can help out with that. So a question back to you, Jake, regarding the 4% again, because we've got quite a few scouts that are in the program. Some of them are parents here and, you know, active on this now. Is this an automatic thing, or how is this going to work?
So yeah, so in the past it was 6% back in the form of a scholarship. We reduced that from 6 to 4. And so for any scouts still in the scholarship program, they still need to fill out the scholarship form, submit it to council, and we will update and give them 4% back to their scholarship account.
Okay.
So instead of the 6 prior, it'll be 4 now for the next 3 years. So this year, 2020, 2021, and 2022. And then our reward side, we have raised that by over 2% as well. So overall, the scouts getting back more than their original 6%. It's just coming in a little bit different format.
Okay. And don't forget too, if you have an eligible scout that may be entering in secondary education, they need to apply for the funds in advance. It's not automatic. We send a note and you get a check. There's an application that's kind of like, it's like a mini grant. It's rarely not approved. Our hands are not dirty with the review process and the council side of it. But you need to know that Trails End does not cut checks every couple weeks for this program. So it's on specific timelines. And I say that because I've had some volunteers in our council get very upset, and I understand that. And I shared with them that, you know, it's out of our hands, but we also do try to administer that counseling statement, ask before you need it. Don't tell us the deadline is the 16th of this month when it's the 10th. It's not going to happen that fast because of the research that has to be regarding the qualification points for the scout. They have to go backwards and make sure it's calculated at the right dollars amount. So keep that in mind. The scholarship campaign has been a great prize incentive in the past. Unfortunately, we're not going to be advertising this to our current salesmen because it's not accepting new members. So we rely on the local units to maintain that connection with those recipients. And we'll try to share that information if you have questions down the road. Yep. I made an error earlier, and that was I didn't hit the record button early enough. So all the stuff that I hit off with right in the first 5 minutes of the session was not recorded. I am not going to repeat it all. I'm not going to make you go through it. But it really, for those that are watching this recording after the fact, we spent 5 minutes talking about what our game plan is with prizes, and to sum it up, it's all changing. Okay, there's a lot of good stuff that's happening now, but the incentives are going to be there for your scouts to do real well. So I want to throw it up for some questions or items that you have from others outside here. I see a lot of experienced volunteers that are on our call, so I want to fire the questions back to you. Any questions that you have regarding the Trails End rewards, Buffalo Trace Council recognitions, or things like that? Quiet group, it's quiet group. This is audience participation time. This is what we're looking for. One of the things that we're hoping to do is Jake's going to teach John how to use the system a little bit more this year. The Trails End system of administration of what's going on with the sale and utilizing the app. One of the features in the app is that we can really try to track down what's going on a weekly basis. So one of the things we would like to do is we'd like to create some recognitions, say for the first 2 weeks of September. And we may create a threshold of anybody that sells within the first 2 weeks of September gets this prize. You know, we've got like 22 yo-yos in our closet. We've got some ponchos that fit into a small little ball like this. it could be a neat little incentive item. We've got a prize closet full of some items that we'd like to offer to our scouts. So we're going to try to create some incentives like that. And we'll push that information out through the council's Facebook page. So please follow the council Facebook page. The Colonel's newsletter has not really started up yet. There's some transitional issues with our staff members here that we're trying to fill some gaps to get some things done, but we'll be trying to re-engage the newsletter aspect as well. But turning to the council Facebook page is probably one of the first points. The other part of it is mass communications. We are trying to do more mass emails because it's free instead of mailings to homes. So we're really looking at different angles of how we're going to communicate with our scouts, and we need your help in making sure that when you're getting the information from the council and from our district volunteers, that you're sharing it with the salesmen in your units too. So be sure to share it with others. So back to the chat box a little bit, we want to talk a little bit about some of the prizes and that type of thing. There is some concerns of us not using the Keller Prize Program, which is individual items. We know that is a little bit of a challenge. But we want you to know that with the Trail Zone Award system, using Amazon gift cards is something that has been very successful with some other councils. So, Jake, you want to hit on that for just another minute?
Commissions.
No, Trails and Rewards.
Oh, the Trails and Rewards.
Yeah. What's the typical timing on that? So is that at the very end of the sale?
So the Trails and Rewards, you can submit for your scouts throughout the year as they hit their different tiers in the rewards. So once a scout hits that first one, you can submit it. Now, once you submit it, you can't make any changes to that scout's account because they have locked in those dollars in which they sold. So make sure whenever you are submitting that you're submitting once everybody's all kind of set and finalized. But then we will pay those out within 5 days. So we have 5 days to review it. And one of our big goals is try to get that as fast as possible. Hopefully we can get that down. But our commitment at this point is 5 days. So as soon as we submit that, you guys submit it, we review it for 5 days. It will then pop up in that scout's account and they can use it instantly. And then with Amazon, and as amazing as they are, that scout could have his prize at his house within a matter of days.
Yeah. Okay. One of the other points we want to hit is again, we'll go over the commission rates again. For the show and sell product that you'll be ordering, that you can order for early September delivery on that timeline, the commission rate will be at 32%, which is an increase over last year. Last year was at 30%. The online sales commissions, right now they're going to range between 30 and 35% depending on free shipping options, because we are looking at some pilot programs with Trails End to really encourage online shipping. On those advertisement points, so for example, the first weekend in July, they offered free shipping to all customers for all items that you ordered. And it was a great promotion point to kick off online sales in some areas. And then in the last 2 weeks, we've offered free shipping at orders over $30. And we were talking with Nathan, who's from Massachusetts, and he talked about how he had a customer that had ordered a $20 item, and he got them to bump it another $10 with a donation to the American Heroes program to get free shipping on that item. Great creative point of sale. And it worked, and it worked for that customer. But Trails End is not really set for sure that it's going to stay at $30. They're also floating the idea of looking at a $40 and up free shipping option for customers. The pandemic is forcing us to look at online in every direction possible. And we're looking at those points being really critical in making sure you're staying on top of what's going on, the changes in your app. In previous years, the online sales, the product mix has changed. And so, for instance, we would have caramel corn, okay? And sometimes it may fall off the ability to order because production isn't being kept up. So they've taken it off the map. They're trying not to do that because they're trying to fill online orders as soon as they can, and it's really about a 2 to 3 week turnaround timeline. So they're trying to make the orders to match up with manufacturing, and that's a little bit of a shift than in the past with how online sales are happening. Jake, anything you want to add on that?
Yeah, just one of the things with online, we want to make sure the product's fresh for the customer. So we're producing everything as need. Also, we've certainly been impacted by COVID like many other food manufacturers. So our capacity and what we can produce is definitely impacted. So as John mentioned, we're going to try to keep all those products available throughout the year. But understand with everything going on in the world we're living in today, we might have some setbacks. So just want to set those expectations up front. So 3 weeks is what we are communicating to the consumer. Hopefully it'll be less than that, but that's our commitment so we can make sure we have product produced and readily available.
But if someone orders today, they order the chocolate lineup today, is there a credit card charge today? Is it because it's not being shipped until October? How does that work?
Correct, yeah. So everything will be charged at the time of the sale. Chocolate orders will not start shipping until October 5th. If they do have other items on that chocolate order, they will not be shipped until the chocolate does as well. So right now we have the $30 and up orders are free shipping. If they want their items non-chocolate to ship, I'd recommend separating out those products and placing 2 different orders, one with chocolate, one without. So then they can get their other popcorn sooner than the chocolate, which won't ship until October 5th.
Another follow-up question regarding the redemption of the Trails End rewards with Amazon. All this is electronic, correct?
Correct. There will be no physical gift cards. It will be all a electronic Amazon gift card code, which will pop up in the Scouts account, and they can access that via the app, or they can access it through their Scout portal, and they also should receive an email whenever that's available.
Okay.
Notice a question about the scholarship, the 4%. So the 4% is earned on any amount sold. So once they are in that scholarship program, for the next 3 years, they will receive 4% back of any dollar. So make sure to submit their total sale online, wagon, storefront, what that totals out to be. We will give them 4% back in their scholarship account.
So there's another point of question regarding damaged product. That would be with emails, correct? We're handling those with emails direct to Trails End.
Correct. If you have any damaged products, please email us, and we will ship out a replacement product to that consumer. So if it's damaged from online, or if it's damaged from your pickup with council, let council know, and we will work that out to either get you guys some new product or get that credited for your damages.
So our game plan with product is going to be handling problems or damage items just as we've done in the past. We're going to have less available product that you're going to be touching, okay? And a lot of that's due to the pandemic. A lot of it's due to the manufacturing side of things. So, but we will be ordering in some show and sell product. This is not really letting the cat out of the bag, but I'll be honest with you, we don't know for sure where we're going to be with distribution sites. We recently learned that the distribution site in Lincoln Heritage District had 20 cases of COVID within their organization. So we have not received permission yet to use that distribution site in Lincoln Heritage District. So we're working our magic, we're working our features. We're still a month away, but hopefully in the next couple of weeks, we'll keep you informed with where things, if they are changing on distribution methods. So we also are pretty confident not every single unit is going to order show and sell product for delivery in September. We know that some units are concerned with how that's going to work. We understand that. We understand the cautions that you need to take. And we would also recommend that you would minimize your show and sell orders to probably around the neighborhood of about 30% of what you sold last year. Ordering 50% of what you had last year is probably not the smartest move. And we're also going to take a conservative nature also. We're not going to accept any returns. That will be different than what you're used to. So that is another point that we wanted to share early on today. We know we're getting some feedback on it, but at the same time too, we hope you understand. So.
A couple other questions I see. I saw Jim, you asked about, are you discouraged from units doing their own prizes? I'd always encourage units to come up with some kind of goal or set prize, whether that's a big trip you guys are taking, whether that's little weekly things. I think it's always good to be creative with your own individual units, get your scouts excited. And then also notice, Tapura, you had a follow-up question with the 4% on scholarship. That is correct. It is only for the next 3 years, 2020, 2021, and 2022. After 2022 season, the scholarship program will no longer be able to gain new dollars, but those accounts will still remain active. So any scouts in that program can still redeem, I believe, until age 25 for future education. So the funds won't go away, but they just won't be able to contribute anymore after that 2022 year. Question, are the customers going to be able to track their shipments? So they will get a notification once their item has shipped. And I believe they will have an idea timeline of when that should come to them. I can double check on that for everybody. But just put in the support email at Trails End. So this will be the best source for you guys to send your damaged products, any kind of online questions. They can give you updates on tracking shipments. If you have any issues logging into your account or system, send an email to that, and they will be the best resource to help guide you through those issues.
So, and I kind of echo that same sentiment in regards to, we've had a lot of volunteers that would center back into council staff members for answering a lot of these questions. When a lot of it's in the control of Trails End, directly asking Trails End is probably the fastest way to get your answers as well. So keep that in mind. Their Facebook pages that they're monitoring and running and managing have been very helpful in regards to hearing the latest updates from the company, status on manufacturing of items, and also those conversations. But be aware, though, there are some decisions that are discussed in the Trails End Facebook pages that are council-based decisions that are different from one council to another. So keep that in mind. Keep their perspective there. Don't get into, the weeds too much on some of the items that may pop up. It'll drag you down, may put a damper on your spirits, and we don't want to do that. But at the same time, too, some of the questions that you're asking right now are in the Facebook pages. So that's a resource that I would recommend all of our colonels pay attention to, if you're a Facebook social media person, of course. Jake, the question is there, do the American Heroes donations count towards prizes? And then what if they don't hit that minimum dollar amount? I think it's at $30, I think.
Yeah, so for the American Heroes donation, they do count towards prizes. So if they use via credit card or it's an online American Heroes, they'll get 2 times the points or 1.5. And those can also be entered for any increment. So in the app, there's an option if they don't want to contribute the full $30 or $50. As Nathan was mentioning earlier, he sold a $20 bag, and to get that free shipping in the online direct, they just need it to support additional $10 more. And so they contribute a $10 American Heroes donation. So that's all available in the app. You can enter any increment of dollars to help upsell those consumers, and it is all rewarded back to that scout through the rewards via the points.
Okay. All right. The chat box, we've put it to good use. We appreciate your participation on that and asking your questions. So I want to go back to another point on sharing another screen that I wanted to share with you. It was a point regarding the family guide. And in the family guide, there is a part of it that I want you to see. Kind of rotate things around. So on the family guide itself, there is like an order form, okay? It only has about 15 lines on it. And you can tell the product lineup is not as many items as in the past, which is a good thing with where we're at today. So whether it's a show and sell or the take order process, less items in our hands, less items in cases to touch, those are a good thing. In regards to storefront sales, they will be minimal, okay? We don't have a lot of contact or positive reactions from our storefront connections that we're making now, and other leaders have told us. But one of the things that our scouts are doing is they are actually showing us some other points too regarding they're blowing up the pictures of the product and they're making it poster size and they're using that in door-to-door sales. So those are features that you can look at doing. We'll probably find a way to get the product lineup shared as well. The other point to remind you of is there is a sales flyer that is really the support help for using the app that our volunteers can pass on to their scouts. It talks about setting the goals, claiming gift cards, using the Square readers that are out there that can be paired up with the app to accept credit cards easier. It talks about using online direct, shipping directly to the customer, reporting wagon sales, and the storefront operations, and issuing refunds. So there's been quite a few features that have been modified in the app over the last year. They've invested a lot of time and a lot of talent into making those revisions that our volunteers have been asking for. So hopefully you'll appreciate those changes.
Yep. And the app, much faster, more intuitive this year. And there's also a spot. The only way we get better is feedback from all of you. You guys are the ones using the app. So in the app, if you click the top left, the 3 bars at the very bottom, you'll see comments that you guys can give back to us, to our support team, to continue to make that better. But all the items that John just mentioned, whenever you guys log in, share here to your unit portal, you can click this training tab, have all the videos, and then has tons of different assets down here for that app quick start guide. Also has the product pictures down here if you guys want to create your own big poster boards. It even has how to order on Vistaprint if you want to order some of that. Some online door hangers. Tons of great materials, resources for all you guys to use, print for your own specific units to be successful.
All right, it's almost quarter after. So Jack, anything else you'd like to add?
The only thing I see a lot of veterans on the call, and I just wanted to thank them because this is a big transformation over the last 2 years with the app, and thank you for your patience. The whole idea is to make us more efficient and make it easier for you and the scouts as well. So it's a big sea change. COVID has forced us to do some things that we should have done in the last couple of years. I mean, we're trying to get there. So thanks for all you do, and I'll just leave it at that. So
I can't echo that any more than what you just said, Jack. We really appreciate your help too. Like I said, a lot of you that are on the call are experienced in selling popcorn. You've been doing it a long time. You've got a lot of other experienced people around you in your units. Lean on them, get them to support you. You cannot do the sale all by yourself. You need to get as many people around you as engaged as possible to make it easier. Amy Holfacker led the session earlier about kickoffs, and she talked a lot about the fact that you have to set the purpose for what your sale is for. You have to have the organization as a key structure for making it effective and working, but you also have to make it fun. And you can't lose those perspectives. She did a great job in the delivery of that. And we want to make sure you understand too. So it's you're going to get periodic reminders throughout the sale. And we really appreciate what you're doing to help us today. There are some other comments that have popped up too, reminding you on don't apply for the Trails and Rewards too soon. Make sure you're wrapped up on the sale. We have not set a formal end date on stopping the popcorn sale this year. It's a little bit different item regarding the calendarization. And we've done it on the basis that we're not having returns in that, we want to make sure that all the product is sold. There is a feature in the app that you do need to be aware of, and that is changing the retail price of the product. That is a feature that is in the app that the kernel has the ability to flip the switch on. So when you're coming to the tail end of the sale, and you want to let loose of your final product items, instead of selling at $20, if you want to drop it to $18 or $15, you can. That's your option, but I do not recommend you change that too soon. Okay, so just keep that in mind. So Jake, anything else?
Nope, appreciate all you guys do. Definitely a different time, different year. Things are having to change, whether we like it or not, as we're doing a virtual kickoff. But encourage all you guys, get creative this year. Think of new ways. We're trying to help as much as possible, but good luck to everybody, and really appreciate all the experience and things that you guys have done. You guys do an incredible job with Popcorn. Get your scouts excited and set some big goals for you guys to do some big trips in 2021.
Without a doubt. So as we close up, one of the last questions in the chat box is, since there's no formal end date, there is a deadline for when payment is due to the council. Is there a formal start date? Well, actually, we've already started selling popcorn. We actually turned the buttons on and we started announcing July 1st that online sales could happen. So really the sales already started. But the show and sell orders from our unit volunteers are due the end of August. So August 31 is when the show and sell order is due. We'll place the order the next day with Trails End, and we'll talk a little bit later about distribution methods once we get the confirmations in place. So we wish you all the best. It's now about 11:15, and we're going to get prepped for the next session. So thanks very much. So we will wrap up, and show and sell orders are due August 31. So thanks very much. Appreciate it. Talk to you soon.